Hey folks, I wanted to take the time to display how to use the banking and AI data application for the September project so that you can use it in your local machine. This is going to be a project that analyzes the web scrape data from the Federal Reserve on the consolidated assets of large commercial banks in the US. So we have here the data, and you can filter it based on which quarter you want to look at, either being the last quarter or something older than that, based on the amount of consolidated assets or the bank name. More importantly, what we can do with this application is use an AI agent in order to visualize our data. And here we go. We have the visualization of the biggest 10 banks based on consolidated assets for the third quarter of 2012. And we have the codes that allow this visualization to happen. And just a quick recap, this data application comes about as a result of a study that I was carrying out on the concentration of banking in the United States. I was looking at the biggest four banks and two particular properties for this big four. One being the concentration of consolidated assets over the last 20 or so years. And then I was also looking at the activities of acquisition and mergers of these four banks. So if you want to check out the application, you can go and visit www.concentrationofbanking.site. Link in the description. In this project, we are working on the same data that I use for the concentration of banking project. The dataset that we will be working on will be updated on a quarterly basis because I constructed a data pipeline that automates the process of web scraping, cleaning, and uploading. So let's get started by downloading our GitHub repository named Consolidated Assets for Banks and AI. So you have to download a whole zip file. And then we will have to place it in a directory of our choice. In order to unzip the file for free, I recommend using 7-zip, which you can download in this website. Link in the description. Now we're gonna open the application.py file to look at the main codes for the data app and use the terminal. We're going to use our 7-zip file to open the folder and get rid of the zip file. Now we're going to open this up. And under deploy, we're going to have our application.py folder. So let's open it up. Here we go. And we're going to open the terminal within this environment. There we go. First, we need to create a virtual environment, but we need to tell our terminal where to create the virtual environment. Quote my directory. It's going to take us there. And then we're going to create the environment through this command right here. We're going to type it in, and there we go. This is our virtual environment. Now we have to activate our virtual environment through banked environment scripts activate. There we go. We have this green banked environment highlighted right here. And next we need to install all the necessary dependencies. For people who are using a global environment, it's not necessary to install the requirements that we have here. You can just go to your global environment and basically tell whatever you're using Anaconda to download Dash, to use Pandas. Just make sure that it's the right version because sometimes there's conflict between several versions. So I would recommend you to still make sure that you're following the versioning that I'm using here. For all the other people who are going to use a virtual environment and install all their dependencies in this environment, just use the pip install requirement text command in your terminal. And there we go. It's installing all the dependencies. Next, we need to establish the Python interpreter. And we're going to enter the interpreter path by looking at our virtual environment directory, copying and pasting it, placing it here, and now all the dependencies are being read by VS Code. Great. Now we have to open our environment file in order to give two keys of information to our application. So let's open it up. So one of the pieces of information that our application is going to need is the LLM API key, and the other one is going to be the directory where our AI agent will get its data from. For the API key for the LLM model that our AI agent will be utilizing, you can pick whichever AI model you think it's best to visualize data. But for me, Mistral AI seems like a relatively cheap and capable AI model that you can utilize in order to carry out the task of visualizing our data. So what you have to do is go to mistral.ai, link in the description. You're going to have to log in, and then you will have to go to API keys in order to generate the type of API key that you will then be copy and pasting in the Mistral API key variable. And you can change the variable name depending on whether you're using OpenAI, Mistral AI. It depends on what model you want to use. And as for the type of specific model that you want to use, I will recommend people to use Codestral latest as the endpoint. It's because Codestral is specifically specialized to handle the generation of code for tasks. And this application is already modulated to have, let's see, the Codestral as the default LLM model for our application. As for the directory, the application file automatically generates a file named banking assets data CSV that is used by the AI agent to get its data. And we need to tell our AI agent where in our directory to find the file. And we want to save it under the deploy folder. So we're going to copy it from here, simply placing it under the dir variable. And we're going to use double backslashes. And now we are ready to execute the file. We're going to use this link right here to place it in our browser. And there we go. We have the application working. So we're going to try to use the AI agent by placing JP Morgan as our main bank. We're going to take off the quarters selection. So we have JP Morgan's history. And as you can see, we have several tabs in which we can go all the way to 2003. And now we're going to ask to give us the following plot figure for us. Creates a line plot of Chase and its consolidated assets over the last 10 quarters. Organize the line plot in chronological order, left, right, from earliest quarter to latest quarter. And there we go. We have a plot that delineates the trends in consolidated assets. And this is the code that was used to import all the dependencies, create the data frame, and then create the figure variable in order to plot this information. Included the styling in dark mode in order to match with the whole application here. Another feature of this application is that you can actually download this data that you see right here by clicking the download CBS file. So let's download it. You'll see the banking assets data download CSV file. Let's open it up. And here we go. We have the same data that we saw on the table, but now you can save it in your local machine and engage in your own analysis. So what is next in the development of this project? So let me show you what I have in mind. I wanted to first divide the process of creating the data frame and the data visualization into two AI agents. One being a data processor developer that worries itself only about the creation of the data frame. And then we have a data visualizer developer AI agent that worries itself only about the creation of a figure variable or the data visualization process. Both of them will be working in creating a plot and code txt file. This will be essentially, let me show you right here. This right here. Both of them will be essentially creating this. Now, why would I want to divide the task that is already being completed by one AI agent? Well, because right now we have been able to create this data visualization without any problem. But I noticed that if we give too much information and too many requests to the AI agents, sometimes it gets overwhelmed And there's about a 10 to 20% margin error that occurs through the process of requesting our data visualization. So by dividing the process of data frame creation and data visualization, um, I think we would be able to significantly reduce this margin error. So from there, we're going to use the polyplot and code text, which is going to be this code right here. And we're going to more specifically use the data frame that we have right here in order to feed it to our business intelligence analyst, who is going to use statistical tools in order to carry out descriptive or prescriptive statistical analysis. And then this same data frame is going to then be utilized by a market research analyst and a policy research analyst to carry web search research in order to understand some of the market dynamics that are happening within the banking industry and some policy topics such as regulation and new laws passing that may affect the banking industry. Um, and of course, they're going to be using the bank names in order to carry out this research and be able to find relevant news. They're going to summarize this information. They're going to create a list of the news articles, a summarization of each article, and then a final overall review. And all of this research analysts are going to feed their insights, their insight products, to a data science project manager that is going to gather or all of their text files or whichever form we're going to feed this information to. And this data science project manager is going to create an executive summary that it's going to be displayed in this application. All of this, including the news articles and their summaries, are going to be in the application. But at the same time, we have the ability, and I think this is a feasible, modulation that we can do. The ability to make the a report in a PDF file that essentially gives us the data, in a, tabular form, the figure, the data visualization, and then the insights of the news articles themselves, and then the executive summary with strategic insights we can give to the stakeholders, and they can download into a PDF file. So this is my conceptualization, my hypothesization of how we can create a multi-agent workflow for this project. Hope this helps. If you have any questions in regards to being able to download and utilize and get the application working, please let me know. And if also you have questions regarding the conceptualization of the multi AI agent workflow, please don't be afraid to be in contact with me. Thank you.